They are very similar questions. It's just the substrates are different, but you can see them as very similar issues, which is why I'm interested in them.
What is the future for cities? Do you want to learn more about them? Do you want to know how others think about them? Do you want to be part of the conversation? Then this is the right place.
Welcome to What is the Future for Cities podcast. We will interview Chiara Marletto, scientific researcher at the University of Oxford. My interviewing partner is Ben Wash, and we will talk about Chiara's vision for the future of cities, the effects of scientific evolution, the best environment for knowledge creation, and many more, as a special edition part of the Podcasthon 2025.
It's interesting to see cities as a constructor, if you like. So this entity that can do a transformation and stay, let's say, approximately unchanged in its ability to cause it again. And somehow it's up to us to find ways of doing this more efficiently. And I guess part of our mental problems and so on are us trying to figure out ways of being smarter in making waste go to zero within the limit of the laws of physics. And of course, physics has a lot to say about this, because ultimately how much waste there has to be in a certain transformation and what is the minimal amount of waste, whether you can reduce it to zero or not, depends on the laws of physics. Thermodynamics is one example, but there are more general laws that you can think of that have information theory in them and so on. And from my point of view, from the point of view of a fundamental theoretical physicist, I find very interesting this question of how can we make a city work in a cycle as much as possible so that you have zero waste? So can you make it really so that it can self-heal, it can regenerate itself when there are some errors or little things that start going wrong, but without needing a huge overhead in terms of extra material that you have to put in and then waste that you have to generate as a result of the error correction. And this is really a similar question to what you're asking about the workspace in a computer, when the memory and so on, and how much memory you need in order to error correct.
Find out more in episode 308 with Chiara Marletto as part of the Podcasthon 2025 on the
What is the Future for Cities podcast.